There was a trust broken that may never be repaired. I think that even today, there are a percentage of families in West Virginia and Charleston that do not trust this water system.
It was clear almost immediately that no one was prepared for something like that to happen.
We don't know as much about our waterways as we probably should. Water is a prevalent feature in the state of West Virginia, and certainly some of its most remarkable places are its rivers.
But when it comes to something as essential as water, know what's going into the water, know how your water is processed, understand what potential hazards there are along the waterways which feed your particular system.
But if something like this would have happened in New York City, the entire world would have been paying attention to it. And they would have been hungry for every detail.
Right. Well, what the chemical spill taught us is that water is extremely valuable, and we just often take it for granted because we have so much of it.
This was a chemical that we knew about and had been a part of the coal industry and the cleaning process for a number of years, but had not been studied very extensively. So we didn't have a lot of information from the scientific community to start with to know, what are the effects? What are the potential hazards?
It became pretty clear pretty quickly that no one in Kanawha County or virtually anywhere in West Virginia was ready for something like that to happen.
And as we lose rivers and their value of drinking water and become dependent on very few, then we become very susceptible to something that would seem like to be a localized event. And instead, that localized event, it touched a third of the state, the residents. So there's a lesson in that, that the less we protect, the more dependent we become on a very, very scarce resource.
People really need to advocate for their own safety and for their community's safety and be informed and hold people accountable.
I think from an economic standpoint, there were so many people that couldn't go out and afford to go get a hotel room, couldn't afford to go drive 30, 40, 50 miles to another place to take a shower, to do their laundry, to do the necessities with water.
One of the difficult things when you try to compare any natural resource like water to another natural resource like coal or any mineral that maybe gets mined is that the economic value of water spread across so many different facets of life that it almost gets, pardon the pun, but it gets diluted. Its real value gets diluted because you've got a tourism sector, you've got a quality of life sector. People's willingness to pay for clean water is huge. You've got a recreational sector, you've got the power industry sector. And then, of course, you have the drinking water sector, and all of these things draw on the value of water.
In short, it was a mess. It was a mess. I was lucky. I had water, but that meant I was sort of ground zero for people who needed showers, who needed to fill up water bottles, for people who just kind of wanted a place where they could get away from the no water situation wherever they were and feel a sense of normalcy for a little bit. So I was very, very fortunate. But our staff, our reporters.
My roommate at the time flushed the pipes, and I remember coming home and getting ready to take the first shower, and that smell was everywhere. So they told us that it would be there. But I think that everyone, at least myself, was a little reluctant. It was a matter of necessity, though. It had been days, and it's not like I could jump in the car and just drive away out of town to go find some water to use.